This is not a very serious issue because many families lose a lot of income in case a family member is to be encountered in an accident. Another very important concern is in regards to losses in pension and retirement accounts. Of course, in case of a sudden death or an accident, this would immediately stop any accumulation in your retirement funds, seriously jeopardizing the past accumulations, correct? The next concern has to do with cancer or terminal illnesses. You know, Joe, unfortunately, medical expenses are the main cause of bankruptcy today in the United States. And most medications, particularly when it goes in regards to cancer, are considered as experimental because they're not FDA approved. And you know what it is with experimental drugs, right? Your health insurance for sure will not cover them, which would mean many more out-of-pocket expenses to you. And when you see the statistics further, 1 in every 2 men is foreseen to be having cancer during his lifetime. For women, it is 1 in 3, but still, statistics are there, you know. And the last concern has to do with affordability. You know, Joe, we work with families who make from $7 an hour to $47 an hour. Some of them work tons of overtime, and some of them are being laid off. That's why it was important enough that they made this program affordable to everyone. Let's take an example. Imagine, Joe, you go to work tomorrow and your boss calls you and tells you, Joe, we've been having a great performance and we'll start paying you for 41 hours a week instead of 40. Are you and Mary going to start buying matching Ferraris with that additional hour?
Nah, probably not.
Exactly. Are you going to start constructing your dream home?
No.
Exactly. On the flip side, your boss gives you a call tomorrow and tells you, Joe, we're not having a good time. Financials are very bad in the company. Things are not going so good. But don't worry about it because instead of letting you or your colleagues go, we will start sending everybody 1 hour early on Fridays. So they will be paying you for 39 hours a week instead of 40. Are you going to cancel your cable TV because of that?
No.
Are you going to cancel your kid's dentist appointment?
Probably not.
Is it going to take food off your table?
No.
Exactly. So the point is, Joe, 1 hour difference does not make a significant change, correct?
Okay.
Now, Joe, the last no-cost benefit I have for you is the needs analysis. I'll ask you some questions. In case there is no need, the system will not give a recommendation. In case there is a need, we will go ahead and review it together, okay? Now, before I proceed with the questions, I will have to show you this mandatory read-off letter. You just have to give me a second because my system just froze. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the Super Bowl last week?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
The Patriots, I knew they were going to win anyway.
To be honest, I don't understand much of football. I was curious about the halftime because this was the first time I have seriously watched the Super Bowl, from the beginning to the end. But I was really expecting something better from the Maroon 5. I have a lot of respect for them. They are a very good group, but they could have done better, right? Joe, when is Miss Mary's birthday?
August 3rd, 2019. 89.
She's in the same year as I am. I'm also 1989.
Oh.
That's nice. And your son's name is?
Joe Jr.
Okay, and his birthday?
November 3rd, 2001.
And your daughter's birthday?
I'm sorry, it's 2011.
Sorry, for Joyce, 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Okay, and your daughter's name?
January, Samantha. January 13th.
January 13th. What year?
2014.
So, Joe and Mary, any internal cancer in the past 2 years? Breast, colon, pancreatic, uterine?
No.
Insulin diabetes?
No.
Cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, peripheral vascular disease?
No.
Current using oxygen?
No.
Terminal illness?
No.
Alzheimer's?
No.
Any form of tobacco in the last 12 months?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Okay. Currently on probation or parole?
No.
Arrested or convicted of DUIs?
No. Haven't had a drink in 10 years.
That's very nice. Was that, may I ask, how did you come with that decision?
Just time for a change. Just stop seeing the point in it.
Yeah. My husband is the same. He doesn't drink either, and he decided that like 5 years ago, and it's not like he really misses it, I mean, it's not like he was drinking before, so it didn't make a significant, huge change. But still, he hasn't drinking anything during that period. And he really got, a lot more fit, the skin, habits, he was sleeping better. I'm sure you had this...
I've been experiencing those.
Benefits too, right? Okay. Now, Joe, what would you say is your monthly take-home pay after taxes?
Let's say after taxes, about $4,000 a month.
4,000. And Mary?
Maybe like $1,500 a month.
Okay. Joe, are you currently renting, or is this house yours and you're paying mortgage for it?
It's an open mortgage. We're paying it off. $100,000 left on it.
$100,000. Okay. How many years do you have remaining of the mortgage loan?
25.
25. Do you use checking savings account? Of course, right? Okay.
Chase Bank.
Big Banks of America, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Give me 1 second, I have to grab something in the back. Okay. Okay, now, Joe. So I'll show you the mandatory read-off letter, as I promised. So what this basically says is this. If, while I'm going through the benefits, you are nodding and thinking to yourself, wow, these are some really great benefits. I really understand how they got them approved and why many families are enrolling in it. Then go ahead, sign up now while I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, if while I'm going through the benefits, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, these are some really great benefits, but I don't really see how they can be of need to my family right now, then I will actually ask you to not apply, okay? Now, whatever your decision, yes or no, you'd have to take it today, during your service period, in fairness to all the other members and families waiting to be enrolled. They made it like this because, as I said, it has been reviewed and checked, triple-checked with more than 20,000 groups all over the United States to make it a real no-brainer, to make it a real piece of cake to understand and take a decision upon, okay? So it's going to be an easy yes or no. Does that make sense?
Correct.
That's perfect. Whatever your decision, they still want your opinion in the officer report form, which is similar to my rate card. And therefore, as I said, I will ask you some questions. If there is anything unclear, if you have any questions, please ask them to me right away, okay? Mary, do you promise? You too?
Yep, I promise. Yeah, we're going to ask you.
Okay, that's great. So, I'll go ahead and review right away the recommendations that we see here from the system. Any plans for Valentine's Day, guys?
We may head to Vegas.
Oh, that's so nice.
Just kind of get away from these little rascals for a couple of days.
That's nice. Getting married again?
Yeah.
Joe, I'm very passionate about what I do because, I come from Albania, and where I come from, these sort of benefits, these sort of services do not exist, Either they are, let's say, available to a very elite group, to very few number of people, and the rest of the population does not know anything about it or does not have any sort of coverage about it. And so I was really amazed to come here in the States and to understand things better on how they work. And I really think that what we do has major impact in protecting many families' lives. Because imagine if, you were to pass away accidentally or in a misfortune or anything, and what would happen to your family, So I really find it amazing on how many sort of services and benefits people can really take advantage of nowadays.
Yeah.
So I really think America is great.
Yeah. USA.
Systems can be a bit.
Yeah. Would you like a
slow
glass of
sometimes.
water?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm
I'd
gonna
love
get you a
to.
glass of water.
Thank you so much.
You mind a bottle of water, room temperature, or?
Whatever is more appropriate to you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll give you a cold one. I like them cold. Here you go.
Yep. Cold water, if you drink it like throughout the year, it reminds me of summertime. It really brings to you this feeling of summer, Okay. Now, John, let me review your options using an example.
Okay.
Just a second. Okay, so considering the list of concerns we went through together before, remember, this is what the system has come up with a recommendation for you. So, Joe, we will say, imagine that in your current job, we will call it job A, you are making $1,050 a week. Okay? And tomorrow, you go to work, a new job opens up, we will call it job B. And in job B, you have the same exact group benefits, co-workers, all the people you love and you hate, everyone. But this job will give to you $1,020 a week, which is, as we said, the difference of 1 hour's wage. Remember? That in the end didn't make much of a difference, correct? Except for the fact that this 1 hour will help solve all of your concerns.
Nice.
Now let's review the recommendations together. So, the first recommendation is in regards to the funeral and final expenses. So the freedom of choice would provide to you with $15,000 for yourself and for your spouse to help cover the funeral expenses. There is a 100% chance your family will need this. They haven't invented the death cure yet, so unfortunately we're all going there. Now this is a freedom of choice certificate, and basically it has all the information needed here in case you were to pass away or mismarry. You would just have to represent this to the funeral home, and the advantage of it is that, as you see, it is blank on the other side. You don't have to write your policy or anything, so it is open negotiation with the funeral home. Because you know how it is, sometimes but often when you bring your whole policy to the funeral home and you say, we have $15,000 of coverage, how much will they charge you for?
Oh yeah, $15,000.
A minimum $15,000, right? So with the freedom of choice, you now have the chance to easily negotiate with the funeral home, and if the cost would be less, the family will be gaining the remainder of the benefit, okay? The next benefit has to do with income protection, as we mentioned. In case you were to pass away, during your working years, it would be due to an accident, most probably. So this would provide to Mary and the kids with $3,000 a month for 60 months as a coverage. I'm sure 5 years of income would be of huge help to the family.
Yeah, for sure.
Correct? The next benefit has to do with mortgage and payoff funds. You said that you have mortgage protection, correct? You said you have mortgage to pay for your family, correct? So American Income would provide to you with $100,000 of coverage for this, to take care of the family. A next very important benefit has to do with your kids. American Income would provide to you with $100,000 or $50,000 for each of your children as an education fund. We call it education fund, but you know, Joe, not everybody doesn't have to continue education or college, this is all your choice, but the funds is there for you, is there for your children in order for them to profit from it. Again, for all the above mentioned benefits that I said, you do not have this with your current job or your current protection, correct?
Correct.
Another important concern we mentioned earlier is the loss of income in case you were to be in an injury or in an accident. For every bee sting, bruise, bump you'd have, American Income provides to you with $100. In case you were to spend the night in a hospital, American Income would provide to you $200. In case that overstay was in the emergency room, you'd receive $400 for 14 days. And for the remainder of the days, for up to 365 days, you would receive $200 per day.
Nice.
Another benefit you do not have with your current income. So imagine, with your current protection, I apologize. So imagine if you were to spend 5 days in a hospital, American Income would provide to you with $1,000 for the whole week to recover your income, correct? And additionally, you would receive $10,000 in case you were to lose a limb or the eyesight from one eye, and double that amount, or $20,000 in case you were to lose any two. Remember we mentioned earlier the accumulations in the pension and retirement funds? This is another very important benefit provided through this coverage and the recommendation that we're having here. So American Income will provide to your family $20,000 to $100,000 in case you were to pass away in an accident.
Okay.
And another very important benefit has to do with cancer protection or terminal illness. In case you were to be diagnosed with terminal illness, you would receive half of your freedom of choice and income protection funds that you can access as a living benefit. Therefore, for you, it would be $97,500, and for Miss Mary, that would be $34,500, which will help you set your finances, have that maybe dream vacation that you always wanted to do, and access these funds. Again, Joe, these are all benefits you do not have with your current job, with your current protection. Very important aspect of these benefits is that they're provided by the American Income, which, as I said earlier, has been operating in the market for more than 70 years, has an A+ financial ratings, and this makes it very important because, at the end, what is it that we want from the insurance companies? For them to pay on time, correct? And these benefits to you, Joe, are permanent and portable. Therefore, in case you were to lose your job or go into retirement, nobody can take this away from you because they are yours, okay? And the last benefit has to do with a layoff waiver in case you were to be, let's say, involved in case you were to be laid off in a qualified layoff. American Income would cover to you the payment of the premium for 3 months, and in case you were to be involved in a strike, you'd have the strike waiver, which would provide to you with a 12 months waiver of premium. Okay? These are all benefits, as I mentioned, you do not have with your current protection, with your current job. So, this would mean that for only, just a second. For $56 a week, you would have all these benefits for the protection of yourself and your family. So Joe, if you were to go to work tomorrow and you'd have to choose between job A and job B, which one would you choose?
Job B.
Job B, definitely, right? And why would you choose job B if you're making more money in job A?
Because I got all of those benefits.
Exactly, right? Because in the end, this is not an expense. This is an investment that you're making for your family's future, for your future, and especially for your children's future, right? So there is another option that the system is recommending, which is recommended to go to a more preferred freedom of choice. Basically, it is recommended that you go with the $31,000 freedom of choice protection, which would help you, let's say, index the inflation increases. You know how it is the economy nowadays, inflation is increasing constantly. So just for, let me make the calculations here real quick. You say it was 56.75 per week, right? Let me make the calculations here real quick to give you, the exact numbers, not to make any mistake. So for an additional $7 a week, 7.64 to be correct, you would provide for your family an additional protection against the inflation increases, which would bring your freedom of choice to $31,000 for yourself and Miss Mary. So, would you prefer to go with the $56.75 a week, or would you like to take a step further and add an extra protection against the inflation increases for your family with a total of $64.39 a week?
Well, honestly, I just right now, the way that like the budget is and things, I really don't think we can really afford to add too much anything on to our bills right now.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult nowadays to make ends meet, with all the bills, with all the financial issues that we're having. But Joe, when you really think about it, over the years, every time something did come up, you were able to make the necessary adjustments. You were able to make whatever it takes to keep food on the table and to keep the heat on for your family. Joe, a lot of families take you for granted, but you're the man who goes to work early in the morning, brings the money home, and does whatever he has to do to take care of his family, to take care of things, and to make ends meet. The only thing that would prevent this from happening is as if all of a sudden you're not here anymore. As if all of a sudden those income that we all took for granted are now gone and are cut off forever. And that is an adjustment that you won't be here to make and that your family cannot possibly make. So I'm sure this $56 or $64 a week is another adjustment to be made, but consider it as if Uncle Sam just increased their taxes. So Joe, you're here and you can still make whatever adjustments are needed to be necessary, are needed to be made, so that your family will not be able to be faced with an adjustment they cannot possibly make.
Mm-hmm.
So, but first let me check if you qualify, because as I mentioned earlier, we'd have to see and ask you some other questions regarding the qualifications, and then we will proceed immediately. So, Joe, have you ever been treated or advised to be treated for alcoholism or alcohol abuse, including membership in Anonymous Alcoholists, or been advised for a physician to reduce alcohol consumption?
No.
I know, I trust you, but we still have to ask these questions, which are for both of our sakes, of course. Any use of drugs unprescribed by a physician, such as cocaine, any sort of tranquilizers or narcotics or sedatives? Ever had your driving license suspended or revoked because of a moving violation or been arrested, including DUIs?
Nope.
Have you flown within the last 2 years or intend to fly in the future as other than passenger on a scheduled airline?
Nope.
Have you participated in the last 2 years or intended to participate in auto, motorcycle, boat racing, parachute, jumping, skiing, scuba diving, skydiving?
No.
Okay. Have you been advised to take tests or not done so? Have you ever been treated with high blood pressure, chest pain, heart attack, stroke, or any heart or blood or circulatory disorder?
Nope.
Diabetes or other endocrine disorder?
Nope.
Paralysis, epilepsy, mental disease or disorder, or any other nervous system or brain disorder?
Nope.
It's perfect. These are, of course, for you, Miss Mary, and the children, okay? Just to make sure. Have you ever had arthritis or any injury or trouble with your backs or knees or any of your joints?
Nope.
Any physical impairment or departure from good health?
Nope.
Any cancer, tumor, or unexplained masses?
Nope.
Okay. Have you ever been rejected for life or medical hospital insurance related or failed to receive a policy you applied for?
Nope.
In the past 5 years, have you had a physical examination?
Yeah, I have physical.
That's perfect. Any medical treatment, including prescription medications?
Nope.
Have you been hospitalized in the past 5 years? No. That's perfect. Have you ever been diagnosed with a terminal illness, including Alzheimer's disease?
Nope.
Okay. Have you ever been treated or proposed to be treated for any of the following conditions? Asthma, emphysema, sleep apnea, or other respiratory disorder? Ulcer, colitis, or other digestive tract disorder?
Nope.
Okay. Cirrhosis, hepatitis, or other liver disorder, or any blood disorder, or received a bone marrow transplant?
Nope.
Okay. Kidney, prostate, urinary bladder, or other genitourinary disorder?
Nope.
Sorry, some medical terms are a bit difficult to be pronounced sometimes. Disease of the breasts, uterus, or ovaries?
Nope.
Rheumatoid arthritis or any other musculoskeletal disorder?
Nope.
Loss of hearing or loss of sight?
Nope.
AIDS, HIV, or related conditions?
Nope.
Any acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS or HIV? No. Okay.
Nope.
Any use of tobacco in any form in the past
Nope.
year? No. Any use of marijuana in the past year? Okay. Now, Joe, this program is set up on a once-a-month computerized deduction basis through our banking system, so through your checking account, and it's done. And having it done this way guarantees to you a discounted rate. Okay. So now you have the possibility to set your date of your draft date between the 8th or the 22nd. Okay. What do you want?
Let's leave it like around like the 15th, like
Yeah, the
middle
15th.
middle of the month. You guys, that's the best for me.
Okay. That's perfect. That's the 15th. You know, because it's important for you to take off the big bills at first, you know, so that everything is doing great. Okay. Now, from what I see here, both of your health is perfect. So I'm not the underwriter, you know, but you should be able to qualify. Joe, there are, you know, at some point in all our lives, people become uninsurable, and when that happens, they're not able to typically get insurance anymore. They are declined and not being able to take insurance anymore. But you know, once they are approved, there are 3 options which can happen. Because you know how the approval process works is that people are being, let's say, evaluated in terms of their health, habits, and age, of course, as a very important aspect. So the first group in which you can be qualified, or let's say what you can fall into, is the approved standard group. This means because you have a perfect to no health issues. Okay, of course, to provide you the lowest rate. The second group in which you can fall to is called the special risk. In this group was called the people who are between, you know, a good health and the uninsurable line. Of course, the closer to the uninsurable line, the higher the cost will be. It will cost a few dollars more, but still. How that happens is because, you know, you can take an example for the car insurance. You know, somebody who has a perfect driving record, who, let's say, does not have any speeding tickets or accidents, will pay less car insurance than the one who has a perfect driving record, correct? So, if you fall in any, let's say, in the special risk line, this group was created because, you know, the groups that we work with, the 20,000 groups, unions all over the states, wanted this program to be affordable for everyone and wanted everyone to receive the insurance. That's why they created this group in order, not to leave anyone out of it. And the last group is called the counter offer. So in case there are major issues, or in case there is somebody who they haven't covered before, would give them a last chance to receive insurance. In case this happens, I will still give you a call and let you know everything, but I seriously doubt it, because you seem to have, both you, Miss Mary, and the kids, to have perfect health and everything, so everything should be perfectly fine. So, as I mentioned, this program is yours, it's portable and permanent. As you are non-tobacco smokers, we will have to take an oral specimen to you. I don't make these rules, so hope everything is okay with you, and we will be taking for both of you the oral specimens, okay? And this process will take from 2 to 8 weeks maximum, because it will be sent to the underwriters to review all the information and everything, and then you will receive the actual policy issued. I will leave you here with all the documentation needed, a conditional receipt. I will need a checkbook from your side, so please, not to get you running around all the time, please bring to me the driving license, the doctor's information, any medication that you take, and your checkbook. Okay?
I'm gonna go get everything.
Okay, it's perfect.
Here you go, license, doctor's info, everything needed right here.
Okay, that's perfect.
Alright, so
Okay. Now, Joe, one last note. A lot of families take advantage of this program, just like you and Mary, because of its value. Because the cost is so small compared to the benefits, It is very rare, but sometimes it happens that members cancel within a week, a month, a year or so. And Joe, we end up meeting the same people in the next service period, which can be in 3 to 4 years, and they're very upset because they're no further ahead than they were, because they're older now, which, as I mentioned before, age is a very significant factor in deciding your quota. And what's worse is that their health situation has changed. We never know when something happens, So these people for sure will have a higher rate, but what's worse is that they are uninsurable now. That's why it's very important, Joe, that you keep this program in place for yourself and your family, because the point is, it's not a short-term fix. This is a long-term solution which can be of long-term benefit to you and your family. Of course, you're at perfect health now. You do not need this, but that's what this program is for, because at the first moment you will need it, you will thank me for it. Okay? Please go ahead and sign here on the paperwork, and we're done together.
All right.